privilege for me to welcome you to this resident and fellow graduation ceremony for the Department of Medical Imaging at the University of Arizona and Banner University Medicine. I'm Jeff Rubin. Most of you know me, but some of you don't, and I am delighted to offer some words of both welcome and congratulations. Congratulations to our senior residents, to the fellows who are realizing the culmination of a long road and a lot of effort, and something to truly celebrate. And it's fantastic to see so many family members here supporting them at this moment of time. So I know there'll be lots of time for applause, but why don't we get it warmed up and give a round of applause to everybody who's here graduating. It's incredible for me to be participating in this event with everybody unfettered from uncommon facial wear that we have been working with over the last year and a half. You know, because I arrived to Tucson in October, I honestly hadn't had a chance to meet people face to face, many of you, until tonight. And it is just, such an incredible delight and pleasure to be able to be together, to be enjoying this event in such a beautiful setting. What a tremendous privilege. And it is not lost on me the road that many of you have traveled to get here through this pandemic, through the uncommon challenges. And really what I've seen in this department amongst the residents, amongst our faculty, the staff, is tremendous resilience. And it's very heartwarming to me, and it's very inspiring to see how folks have adapted and dealt with very, very difficult situations in order to come to this point. I want to say that, when I got a chance to see how our residents all did on our board exams, American Board of Radiology exams, I was just blown away. I was just so impressed that despite all of the challenges, that everybody found a way to excel. And I see it on a daily basis when I am interacting with folks, whether it's in conference or in the reading rooms or what have you. You are really a tremendous group, and I can't tell you how fortunate I feel to be a part of you. So thank you, and thank you for being so welcoming. Before we get to the main portion of the event, I want to recognize somebody very, very special, somebody who has meant so much to this department essentially since its origins. And I think you probably know who I'm speaking of. I'm speaking of Dr. Paul Kapp. And we want to have a celebration a bit for Dr. Kapp. And here you see, I guess I got the advance right here, don't I? There's a beautiful picture of Paul and Connie, his wife, who I wish could be here tonight, or was here, but hopefully many of you have known her, and we'll see her again in the future. But I want to just talk a minute about Paul, because this is essentially 50 years since Paul came to this department, to found this department and originate it. So I want to tell you a little bit about Dr. Kapp and how spectacular he is. Paul hails from Yonkers, New York. That's where he grew up. But then he enrolled at Roanoke College, where he had scholarships in both baseball and basketball. And in recognition of the outstanding contributions in sports that he had at Roanoke College, he was named Athlete of the Year in 1951. Now just think back to 1951 for a minute and what you all were doing then. And think that, wow, Dr. Kapp was Athlete of the Year back then. He became a charter member of the Athletic Hall of Fame in 1971 for his college, where he also majored in physics and served as president of the Kappa Alpha fraternity. After graduating with a bachelor's in physics from Roanoke, he was offered a professional baseball contract with the highly respected Welsh West Virginia miners of the Boston Braves organization, and would look forward to being regaled with some stories from those days. But faced with the decision to either report to spring training or pursue postgraduate studies, he did the studious thing and headed to postgraduate studies at Duke University in nuclear physics. And he spent 2 years at Duke. He subsequently earned a medical degree at the University of North Carolina. And then after going back to Duke for residency, he stayed on as the radiologist in charge of pediatrics. He later served as associate professor, chief of pediatric radiology and cardiac radiology, and vice chair of Duke's radiology department. He then served as, and then in 1970, he was recruited to come to Tucson to help build the College of Medicine and became the founding chair of the Department of Radiology at the time. And Dr. Kapp served as professor and chair of this department, now known as medical imaging, for 23 years. And thereafter became a professor emeritus in 1993, but wasn't done being a very active and important contributor to our field. He served as the executive director of the American Board of Radiology, ushering it here to Tucson, where it is, between 93 until 2002. Dr. Kapp has many, many accolades. He's a member of the National Academy of Medicine. He is a fellow of the Royal Society of Medicine in London. He has 3 gold medals from really impactful and major societies in our specialty. But on a personal level, I just want to say that Paul is a tremendous human being. Coming here for me, Paul has been so welcoming, so inviting, very generous with his thoughts, with his advice, and I can't tell you how much respect I have for what Paul has done for this department, but the support that he has provided me as I've come here. And so I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the department to recognize Paul. Paul, will you come up, please? We have a little something for you on the occasion of this 50th anniversary. So Paul, we have a couple of things here for you. Firstly, we have this very special jacket for you, recognizing you here as Professor Emeritus with the logo of the College of Medicine and Medical Imaging. We hope you'll wear this out on the golf course during those days when you actually need a jacket. So we have this for you, and then also...
Paul, how many hole-in-ones have you gotten playing golf?
Only 6.
And we'd like to also present this crystal to you. It says 50 years of service presented to M. Paul Kapp, MD, to honor your dedication as a founding member of the College of Medicine, your leadership as founder and chair of medical imaging, and in appreciation of your service, loyalty, dedication to the University of Arizona. Paul, thank you so much for so many years of service, and we look forward to many more. You want to say something?
Thank you, Jeff. I think you made a mistake inviting me to say a few words. I would like to say, when I finished medical school 73 years ago, I went through everything that each of you are going through now. And the wonderful thing about this evening, this is the last hurdle. And you've made it, and made it in spades. And it's nice to hear that Dr. Rubin said, all of you passed with flying colors. And so you have wonderful careers ahead of you. I watched news tonight just a little bit, and when you look at the political nonsense that goes on throughout the world, notwithstanding our own country, I think you can appreciate how lucky each of us are that we've made the decision to enter a medical profession second to none in the country, in the world. As professionals, there's no other professional organization that's held in the esteem that medicine is held today. And so all of you have to be congratulated, particularly those finishing and leaving, and I hope you come back and give more talks to us. Looking back 51 years now and looking at the state of the department now, I'm so pleased at what we have accomplished in all these 51 years. Particularly pleased with, and we're going to recognize the research awards, particularly pleased with the academic side. People forget that the medical schools are here to train people. We're not here just to take care of patients, but we're here to train people, and it's you people that we're so interested in training, and that's the reason why we as faculty are here. And that's the main reason we're here, teaching you with patient care and teaching and particularly research. And I'm sitting with many of our research scholars, and we've been fortunate to have a strong research program over these 51 years. And so all of you are blessed to be part of this medical imaging department. And Dr. Rubin, thank you so much for coming and maintaining the high excellence of this department. Thank you.
I would be remiss if I did not recognize that Dr. Kapp is such a strong supporter of research in this department that many of you should know that he has established an endowment in the department to support the Resident Research Award, an enduring contribution that will provide a basis for recognizing resident research for years to come. And it is truly a profound and generous gift that he has provided. And to highlight for anybody who is so inspired to follow Dr. Kapp's example and to further support research in this department, there is a campaign to help to support and grow the legacy that Dr. Kapp has started and represents, and hopefully to further support research into the future. At this point, I'm going to step aside and hand the podium over to the star of the show, Dr. Dorothy Gilbertson.
I'm not the star. The graduates are.
The graduates are. So true. All right. Thank you. Dorothy.
So thank you all for coming. Next, we will begin recognizing all of our residents and fellows with their certification. I would just like to say this has been an amazing 4 years for some of these residents who had to spend all of last year during the pandemic, some of whom were working from home, some of whom were working at remote locations, and everybody really stepped up to the plate and contributed 100% to take care of our patients and continue with their education as well. So I'm really pleased and thankful to everyone for all of your dedication. I'll go ahead and start now with the resident certification. The first person that we'll recognize in alphabetical order is Artyom Abramian. Art is going to be doing fellowship here at the University of Arizona in interventional radiology. And I've been working hard to learn to say congratulations in Russian, so I will try to do that now. Pozdravляю.
Спасибо. That's good.
Next up, we have Shahad Al-Bayadi. Shahad is going to continue her fellowship in breast imaging, yes, at Northwestern. So congratulations, Shahad. I really enjoyed having you here, and we'll be talking more about that in the near future. Next, we have Dr. Marcus Carr. Marcus is heading on to my undergraduate alma mater, University of Wisconsin. Go Badgers. He'll be doing fellowship in neuroradiology. Congratulations, Marcus. He's also been a chief resident, but we'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. Congratulations. Next, we have Dr. Miguel Craig. Miguel has been another one of our fabulous chief residents, and he is heading off to fellowship in breast imaging at MD Anderson in Texas. Congratulations, Miguel. Dan Goldberg. It's been wonderful to work with Dan. I snatched him from the arms of surgery, where he already completed 4 years of residency before he came to us at the last minute on a Skype interview about 2 days before our match list was due. He's going to continue on in fellowship in interventional radiology here with us at the University of Arizona. Very happy. Next we have Lev Nikolaevich Korovin. Lev is going to head into the workforce, and he will be the Chief Medical Officer at the Experimental Creative Center International Public Foundation in Russia. This is a think tank, and it should be very exciting for him. Congratulations, Lev. And I have to also say, pozdravляю to you too.
Спасибо.
Next up, we have the Count, Matthew Lecomte. Dr. Lecomte is heading to the University of California in San Diego to do cardiothoracic imaging fellowship, and we're very pleased with this. And hopefully we'll be seeing you back soon. Deshant Mann. Congratulations on your graduation. Deshant is an extremely hardworking resident, and he is going to stay on as a body fellow here with us in the body imaging department. Congratulations, Deshant. Next up, we have Matthew Neal. He'll be heading off to Cleveland Clinic for musculoskeletal imaging fellowship. Notice how all of these residents are going to such wonderful fellowships. It's amazing. You guys did really well in the match this year. Thank you and congratulations. And Laura Steinmeier. Laura's moving to Boston to attend Brigham and Women's and fellowship in neuroradiology. Congratulations, Laura. then lastly, Josh Warner. Josh is going to do a 2-year fellowship in informatics and body imaging at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester. Congratulations, Josh. Next, we'll do some fellow certification. Dr. Arif?
Thank you, Dr. Gilbertson. Good evening, everyone. Past year has been very rough, very busy. The 2 body fellows, Harish Goody and Errol Bosdigan, have worked tremendously hard. They got so used to working hard that they're still working and they missed the graduation. So I'd like to announce their fellowship certification in their absence. They're probably logged on Zoom. Errol joined us from Cleveland. He had actually done some research fellowship at Duke and had interacted with Dr. Rubin during his time in Duke. He originally grew up in Turkey. Errol will be staying here in our department as neuroradiology fellow, so you'll still see him. Next, Harish Goody. Harish is, can we go to the next slide? Although he's saying that he's working, I'm not sure where he is right now. But he will still be around. You'll see him in the nuclear medicine section. He'll be continuing with us with nuclear medicine fellowship next year. Thank you. We'll move on to this new fellowship that we created this year for an excellent resident of ours, Mike Larson, exceptional resident and a very nice fellow who we had the privilege and honor to train. So I'd like to invite Dr. Woodhead here with me. So Mike Larson did a combined body and non-vascular interventional radiology fellowship this past year. He spent first 6 months with him. He tuned him well and sent to us. We had a wonderful time with Mike. A few facts about Mike. Everyone knows Mike has been here for a long time. Do you know that he is one of 5 kids? He has 5 kids, and his mom was one of 5 kids. Okay, so here we present to you Mike Larson. Oh, yeah. And with his combined fellowship training in interventional radiology and body imaging, UC Davis Division of Body Imaging is very lucky to have him join them as assistant professor starting July. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll invite Dr. McCurdy.
Good evening. I'm going to present Matt and Chelsea together so they can just sit for the moment. But I didn't get to do this last year, so here we go. We're very lucky to have Dr. Caruso Chelsea, who was our homegrown talent this year. She graduated from Arizona State University and then moved south and spent 6 years with us doing internship, residency, and fellowship. She's excelled at every level of her academic career. She's presented at the resident research days, and we loved having her. Our international talent this year was Dr. K, Matt. He trained as a radiologist in Australia. He was a practicing radiologist in Perth, Australia, in one of the top groups before he came to the United States and completed 4 years of fellowship at the University of Arizona. He was prolific in his research. He published 13 plus papers, had 10 poster presentations, and wrote 2 book chapters. And I want you to know that they presented at a rheumatology conference, and they got great accolades from the rheumatology team. They were superb educators. They presented at sarcoma conference and really made outstanding, astute observations that improved patient care. And unprecedented in, I think, any fellowship, each of them presented 6 times at Orthopedic Sports Medicine Grand Rounds. This was in front of up to 150 sports practitioners, the best in sports medicine in Tucson. So they should be congratulated for that. There are great teachers and mentors in the reading room, and I think everyone who's spent time with them this year certainly knows that. They could have just as easily gone into academics as private practice, but I'll get to that later. Even though they were predestined to arrive on our doorstep July 1st, 2020, I have to say that we couldn't have got two more extraordinary people to come spend a year with us in the middle of a global pandemic. And they proved that they aren't just extraordinary people, they're also extraordinary radiologists. They were resilient, extremely hardworking, and just a pleasure to work with and to teach. We want to wish them all the best, and they're going to continue to work together in private practice in Portland, Oregon, where they're going. To your families, I want to say thank you for sharing them with us. We know how hard they work and how many hours they spend at work, and you should be very, very proud of them. We have one additional gift for them they won't get tonight, but they'll get next week. And we hope to see them at meetings. We hope you come visit when you come back to Tucson. And we couldn't be more proud of you, and our heartiest congratulations. Please come up and get your awards.
Sorry. As a fair weather fan of the Phoenix Suns, just because they are in the playoffs, I was just watching or looking at the scores. So anybody interested? They're still leading. So good evening, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity. And before I introduce today's graduating fellows, I just want to take a couple of minutes to reflect and thank some of the key members of our department that have been instrumental in maintaining the high quality within our division and within the department. First, I want to thank Dr. Rubin, the chair of the department, and Dr. Gilbertson, the vice chair of education. They've been extremely helpful. Everything I asked for as a fellowship director, I've gotten it without any inquiry, so thank you very much for that. I want to thank our interim section chief, Dr. Becker, who stepped up to the plate and has been doing a tremendous job in keeping the department or the division intact, given our challenges in the last year and a half. I want to thank other faculty members. Unfortunately, 3 of our faculty members are leaving. First, I want to thank Dr. Kubal, who has been here for more than a decade, and from whom I inherited this position. And I'm still trying to fit into his shoes and trying to do justice to the position that he has given to me. Dr. Nagay and Dr. Thomas have only been here for a shorter time compared to Dr. Kubal, but have left an indelible mark on our section and the department. And we would really miss you all, because I've learned so much from working with all my colleagues, especially the 3 of you that are leaving. I'm a little sad. It's a little bit of a bittersweet moment where we are celebrating our fellows. I also am sad to see some of our distinguished faculty leave. At least I'm hoping that some of you will keep, come back, lecture, or talk to our residents and fellows. And lastly, I want to thank Neetu Doshner, the program coordinator. She and I started this journey together, and we've learned a lot. We're still learning in terms of visa restrictions, the NRMP, ACGME, and a lot of other challenges that we have faced. And at this point, I lean a lot more on her expertise than my own. So we have 2 exceptional human beings graduating today. We all know their expertise as radiologists, as physicians, but I see them as great inspirational human beings first, than physicians and scientists. The last year offered us a lot of challenges in terms of stress and challenging situations, and I have been inspired by how they have handled those issues in a very calm demeanor. They've been very soft-spoken. There was a lot of issues with doing additional challenging clinical scenarios, teaching the residents remote work. We embarked on a lot of projects, but unfortunately, we couldn't complete all of them. The good news is both of them are continuing on as faculty. First of all, I want to invite Dr. Sam Rogers. You all know him very well. He's our he was our resident extraordinaire, now the neuroradiology fellow extraordinaire. And you would be happy to know that even within all the chaos and the challenges that we face, he was able to get an award at the ASNR for his excellent presentation on post-contrast FLAIR imaging of the brain. So a great work, and we continue. I hope that he'll continue to do the great work as a faculty. I don't hope, I believe, I have no doubt about it. And it's an honor and to be working with you, Dr. Rogers. Congratulations. Dev Varhat Pandey, unfortunately, he couldn't be here today. His wife is out of town, and he's taking care of the baby. But Dev, if you're listening in, I don't know if you're signed in, it's been an absolute pleasure. I really, really enjoyed working with you. At least in the last 2-3 months, both our fellows handled the division as if they're attending radiologists, and I'm really thankful to you. Congratulations, Dev. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, everyone. You know, I'm not a very good speaker, so I'm so sorry for my wonderful fellows, because that's disadvantage you guys got from me, because I really want to say a lot of wonderful words about you guys. But let's start from this. I really appreciate you two, Usha and Matt, were here last year with me. You guys are wonderful, especially during when we are such a short staff. It's only me and you two. And we have to keep all the service running. And not only we never lose any patient, our workload actually expanding, if you know. And we are even scanning last weekend, PET-CT. Our service of treatment has been blooming. I don't know why, but it is. Probably because of we take good care of patient. Matt is very detailed, very tender, very careful with all the patient, very collective, all the paperworks, make sure patients are comfortable. Usha is very gentle, very soft, and they are playing smooth environment of this hard, very hard condition. So I really appreciate, and also congratulations for your success in passing your board, go on to the next step of your career. And we actually offer him like to stay, and don't go for fellowship anymore. Just stay. Why you want to be another 1 year cheap labor? I want to expand myself. So okay. So Matt is going to the wonderful place of San Diego. Enjoy 1 year of very expensive living condition. And I really look forward you come back soon. So Usha is unfortunately not here. She has to take care of the baby. So congratulations.
Thank you. Guys, how are you? I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to be here tonight. You know, this is my first time doing this as a program director, and this is my first class. And I think it's fair to say that Sam Oates and Michael Hill are the most outstanding, class of IR fellows that I have been involved with during my 4 to 5 years here, and possibly the strongest class of all time. These guys are truly outstanding. And it's been a pleasure to work with them, and they're going to do incredible things in their career. So looks like I'm going to talk about Sam Oates first. And look, Sam is a fantastic guy. He started out as kind of a goofy first-year resident. And it's hard for the first and second years. You probably wouldn't really see that about Sam, because he's kind of grown into this sort of tough demeanor. But I think Sam, one of his key features is tenacity. The guy will fight through any case, no matter how hard or how long. He gets good outcomes. He is truly a professional in the angio suite, on top of being a great guy and a good father. He's been a pleasure to work with, and we're wishing him the absolute best next year. This group in Shreveport, really won the lottery. They found, I think, one of the best guys they'll ever have there. So, later tonight, take me aside. I want to tell you a story about Sam going to the top of Mount Lemmon and getting a pneumothorax throwing knives, but we'll save that one for later. Look, next, Michael Hill. Let's talk about Mike. So, Michael Hill, I met him first as a rotating medical student, and I was giving a lecture to medical students at the time, kind of covering Dr. Taljanovich's curriculum. And like the guy, the first time that I met him, we were incredibly lucky to have matched him to our DR residency here under under Dr. Gilbertson's efforts, and over time he really turned into one of our top residents. He became a chief resident, and I think we all have benefited from this guy as a teacher, a leader, and kind of a person we all look to for advice, for guidance. He's the biggest knock against Mike is he's just too perfect. I think it really starts with his hair. I think as somebody who's personally follicularly challenged, I find it actually kind of angering. I saw him crossing the street a few weeks ago in a windstorm, and the hair didn't move at all. It was just perfect. It's really kind of frustrating for me personally. But in all seriousness, Michael's been a real all-star, and we're going to miss him dearly. He's been instrumental in helping us survive this last year, I think. And I think I want to take 1 second. I don't want to, take the light away from these two guys at all, but I think it'd be wrong to not talk about the extraordinary challenges we faced in the past year. And that these two fellows overcame pretty easily, I would say. The PPE, the negative pressure rooms, the anxiety, the constant code blues going off like all day long. We watched our family members get sick. We had colleagues in the hospital get sick, members of our own faculty who got sick. And these guys showed up every single day and worked in these labs on these very patients. It was pretty crazy. So kudos to them. An amazing year of training. And in spite of that, our volumes were up. We did crazy cases. We did amazing things. And I trust these guys, with my own family members, to be honest. So, look, to summarize, in a year that was exceptional for many reasons, we were blessed to have these incredible fellows, Sam Oates, Michael Hill. Thank you, guys.
Next, we will move into our awards presentation and talk about a variety of other things that I'm enjoying sharing with you. First up, I would like to mention Dr. Kubal, who's moving toward retirement. You might not know a few things about Dr. Kubal that I'm going to share with you now. He's a past president of the American Society of Emergency Radiology. He has been with us for 12 years and been a great mentor to many of us as faculty and to the residents and fellows as well, and was formerly the Neuroradiology Fellowship Director. He has run Journal Club for as long as I can remember and really set the standard and the expectation for our residents on how to critically review an article. He's stepped in countless times to do lecture for the residents at the last minute when we had last minute cancellations, for example, and I really appreciated that as well. And he's done all of it with such a wonderful sense of humor. If you've ever worked with Dr. Kubal, he's a fabulous lecturer and a fabulous teacher. So we have this glass plaque for Dr. Kubal as well, which says, "In appreciation of your contributions, service, and loyalty to Banner University Medical Center and the University of Arizona and the Department of Medical Imaging." Dr. Kubal is not here. Hopefully he's watching on Zoom. Thank you, Dr. Kubal, and I hope to see you again very soon as you continue to work in our department. Thank you. Next up, I would like to make some mention of some special recognition. I just want us to take a moment and think about all of the other people that help our program and our department run. People like Tulshi and all of the IT department, people like Mark and the finance department, and then all of our admins, some of whom are not here, such as Tammy, Maria, and all of the research admins as well. I know that Nilu also is not here, but for those admins who did come, we have a special little gift for them, these lovely succulent bowls. So if Janet, Jen, Melissa, and Amy would like to come up, I would like to present you these plants. You're supposed to be receiving it, not taking it. You've got it for me. I'll hold it. I got it.
Get up.
Sorry. Get the picture. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you do. You know, these ladies are instrumental in making things like today happen. Thanks, Mark. Okay, next up, I just wanted to mention a few other people. You don't have to walk up, but I'm just going to give you a quick shout out for things that you've participated in this year. So we had the ITAR, the Introduction to Academic Radiology program, which was completed this year by Abdul Khan. I haven't seen him tonight. Is he here?
Back here.
Abdul, there you are. Congratulations. Next up, we have the Banner University Medical Center Leadership Development Program for residents. And someone participated in that. I believe it was Aubrey. Where are you? She's on Night Float. So Aubrey completed that program. You'll have to tell her that we recognized her, and I'll try to tell her as well the next time I see her. So congratulations, Aubrey. We also had 2 residents this year who completed the Spanish language healthcare disparities distinction tract. And that was Christopher Brunson and Gokhan Kuyumuku. So congratulations, guys. Next, we'll move on to Resident and Fellow Teaching Awards, which will be presented by Amy Jennings.
So every year we ask the medical students to vote on the best teaching resident, attending, and this year, fellow. As someone who reviews the votes and feedback, I can tell you we always have several candidates in the running for these awards, and the students speak highly of many people who have influenced their learning in radiology. We have a great group of teachers in our department, and I'm happy to announce those whom the students deemed as the best. So this year, we have a tie for the Resident Teaching Award between 2 individuals. Dr. Dahlen Christensen, and Dr. David McNeil. The Fellow Teaching Award goes to Dr. Michael Larson. And the Grant Sawara Award goes to Dr. Bernd Schmidt.
Dr. McNeil is on night float, and Dr. Schmidt is also working in the hospital right now. So next up, we have the Outstanding In-Service Exam. And so we give this every year to the 1 or 2 residents with the most outstanding in-service exam scores. And this year, there were 2. Number 1, we have David Sawyer, and just a couple points behind him, we have Gokhan Kuyumku. You are David. Congratulations. Excellent job, Gokhan.
2 percentile.
Thank you. Thank you. If you didn't know, this is kind of an ongoing thing between these two, always competing for who's going to get the best. Next, we have the RSNA Fellow, Resident or Fellow Research Award. And this year, it goes to Dr. Josh Warner. Josh has done a lot of outstanding things in our department in the last few years, including research, but also really spearheading a lot of our IT developments and our changeover in the electronic medical record. And finally, Primordial has been working the last couple of days for the discrepancy tracker. It's been amazing. Thank you so much, Josh. It's been such a privilege to have you in our department. Next, we'll have Dr. Paul Kapp. We had 3 winners from the Resident and Fellow Research Day, and Dr. Kapp would like to present these.
Thank you, Dorothy. I don't have to tell this group, when you look at the clinical research efforts that have been done in the progress of medicine in the past 100 years, 95% of the work is done at academic teaching institutions. And that's the reason why residents are required to have a research project during their 4 years. And so we had an intensive competition, and first place, and by the way, there's a nice cash award, and I know you like that more than you do a plaque. But the plaque stays on your wall for the rest of your life. This will go very quickly. And first place, Lucas Strykum, MD. Thanks very much. Thank you so much. Second place, David McDaniel, MD, David McNeil, Atrium. Where are you, David? He's on? Okay. And last, certainly, but not least, Carl Sabatki. It's too long to pronounce, but Carl, please come up. He's not here either. He's not here either. But congratulations again.
Next, I would like to talk about our chief residents, Marcus and Miguel, this year. You guys have done such a fabulous job, and I know it hasn't been easy. There have been so many difficulties throughout the pandemic, and you guys have continuously and resiliently stepped up to the plate consistently and kept a smile on your face. You took a deep breath whenever we needed to and just kept moving forward. And that's what's made you really outstanding chief residents. So Marcus and Miguel, could you please come and accept the Outstanding Chief Resident Award? And you guys can stay. You can stay and present the George Barnes Award.
Oh, yes, that's right. So every year, one of the many excellent attendings we have is recognized with an award for outstanding contribution to resident education. And this year, we would it's our honor to present it to Dr. Kavitha. Thank you for I think all of the residents, not just the fourth years, can thank you for sort of bearing with us and giving us excellent chess teaching. Not just the fourth years who all passed the core, but all the rising fourth years who I'm sure did well on chess in no small part due to your teaching. So thank you.
No, thank you so much. You guys are the best part of staying here.
Thank you.
And this is our last award tonight. I wanted to mention this year was different when it comes to recruitment because we had to do the recruiting entirely online. We were unable to have in-person interviews. The NRMP and ARIS did not allow it, so we had to do all the interviews on Zoom. And we had several residents who really stepped up to the plate when it came to that. I'm talking about Nav, Dullet, and I'm talking about Lucas and several others who really helped out a lot when it comes to all of that. And I couldn't have done it without them. And so the Excellence in Professionalism Award goes to Shahad Al-Bayadi, who also not only participated in all the online venues, but created our Instagram and Twitter account as well and kept all of that going. Shahad. Thank you, Shahad. Oh my God, thank you. And Shahad is just such a bubbly person all the time, really wonderful to work with, always so positive and hardworking. Thank you. So that concludes our program tonight, and thank you all for coming, and congratulations to all of our graduates.